Welcome to Create to Live podcast, the podcast where social media meets business and big dreams turn into bigger results.
Whether you're an entrepreneur, content creator, or a 9-to-5er, building your side hustle, you're in the right place.
Each week, we bring you actionable tips, inspiring stories, and insider strategies to help you grow your brand, monetize your passions, and create the success you seek. We are your hosts, Sherelle from Blue Wall Media
And Davon from Booker Consulting.
Together, let's create the life you want to live. Welcome to the Create to Live podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Sherelle.
I'm Davon.
And this episode is focused on how to develop a positive mindset in 2025 to be successful for content creators, entrepreneurs, as well as 9-to-5ers who have a side hustle. So, Davon, can you tell the people why it's important to have a positive mindset, especially going into 2025?
2025. What's up, everybody? I'm like, why am I even talking about this? Because this is the start of a new podcast, new year. When you first starting something might not be the best, but you just got to start. So I think that's important. You really just got to start for real and be positive about it. Man, it's not going to work out. You're right. Man, it's going to work out. You're right. So it just depends. Just depends, really, for real. What do you think, Sherelle?
Honestly, I definitely agree. I think that it kind of reminds me of something that business coach Myron Golden said. He said that people, whenever they're going towards wanting to be successful, they think of all the things that could go wrong. They think of all the things that make them not qualified, and how it really depends on the way that you think. If you think that something's going to go wrong, then it's possibly going to go wrong, versus you thinking more positive, thinking of, okay, changing your thoughts from this isn't going to work to I believe this is going to work. There's a chance that this can work. What if this does work? What if it happens? I really think that that's something that we have to change our mindset and keep in mind. Is it really all depends on our thoughts, and if we change our thoughts to be more positive, then that'll change our actions.
We talking about positive mindset, so I think one thing, like, my content suck is not a good thing to say for real. Like, and if it does, like, how are you going to get better, Instead of just saying, ooh, my content is trash, and you can always make it better, Day one always not going to be the best for real. And then in college, that's the best time create content because everybody's just starting. So you feel like that's the ultimate time for support. I really liked your show. I guess I wouldn't consider. I guess I am now considering content for you, but what's popping? I think that has transcended into what we're doing now, creating to live. Create to live. I got a friend named Chelsea. Like, she creates content in college, and I think the biggest thing she deals with is time management. Time management not being her side and having to deal with classes. And Sherelle, I know she got a lot of tips, but I just give one. Consistency is however you make it for real. If you want to post once a week, then that's your consistency. Or I want to post once bi-weekly, then that's your consistency. But as long as you do it, you have more videos than just I'm going to post once every 3 months, and that's if I remember, because I'm quote-unquote so busy. So, we make the time for what we want to make time for real.
Another tip that I would give as far as for content creators, especially those like in college or those young and just really just trying to figure out how to be on content, how to be on social media. And sometimes we have those thought processes of like, oh, I feel like it's oversaturated. There's already somebody out there who does the same thing, or things of that sort. And something that I like, the tip that I would give is determine what platforms you truly want to focus on, whether it's 2, whether it's just 1, whether it's 3 or 4. Like, choose and determine what social media platform you enjoy being on and you enjoy creating for. because once you settle that in, that gives you something to focus in on, so that it's not so overwhelming as far as, okay, I don't know if I should be on Instagram because I don't really want to post on Instagram, or even with like TikTok is about to ban, so should I even start creating on there? Just choosing a social media platform that works for you and that you enjoy being on, and something that you want to continue to create on and grow on. That would be my first advice.
I like to piggyback off of that because I agree, and then I also disagree because when I make content, I'm like, man, I want to be everywhere. And so I'm like, ooh, So I agree, like that can be a lot. You're like, man, all right, I'm on Instagram today. Now I gotta forget on TikTok. I gotta get there algorithm. So, developing that habit. I feel like once you develop the habit to post on a social media site, and it gets easier, then you can start to move on and diversify your social media, because there's money to be made on platforms. I literally made 23 cents on TikTok. Most I made on any social media for real. So
Congratulations. How did you manage to earn that on TikTok?
I was on live and they gave me a rose.
Oh, wow, that's truly amazing. Okay, so we've been talking mostly to content creators, but let's shift gears to more of entrepreneurs, people who are new to the game, new in business, and really just feel like they've been doing all that they can, but their business hasn't popped off. What is some advice you would give to them?
New business owners struggling to stay in business because you didn't pop off like you expected. I guess it just depends on the business. I guess in this point, if we're talking about social media business, my tip is how you know it didn't pop off. Like, how you know it's time for it to pop off. We glorify athletes, we glorify people who made it to the top. And most of these stories is pretty much like, man, I've been grinding for a long time. I was struggling, but I kept going and made it. Like, we glorify those stories. We really love those stories. Some stories like, I made it because I was just cool. But most stories is, I grinded, I had adversity. I didn't quit when things get hard. So I'm like, it's less than 2 years. We don't give up on babies when they can't talk in 2 years, or they can't walk. You're like, this is normal. It's part of the process. And you're like, oh, they crawl. Like, oh my, good job. Oh, they took their first step. Great. We gonna potty train. Great. Now they could do it on their own. Now they walk into the restroom on their own. It's a whole process. So,
Okay, so are you telling business owners to look at it more in the sense of a process versus progress, or can you explain what you mean exactly?
it's a process and like progress. Like for example, for you, like it's been year 1 for Blue Wall Media. So it's been some progress for that. And now we like, okay, so what we gonna do next year? We already halfway for new business owners. So I think just sticking it through and learning how to get better is a better option than just quitting, because then you might create a habit of quitting every time something gets hard. What do you think?
Those are really good. I understand now what you're saying, and I think that's definitely a great perspective to have and to keep with you when running a business, especially me myself being a business owner and it being my full-time thing. I definitely feel like I should take in that advice for myself as well. I would say, as far as for me, advice that I would give, or a tip that I would give is, it's a fun saying that I like. Telling people is, social media is your friend, but if you don't use it, are you its friend? And basically what that means is, social media is here. It's free access to every single one of us. We all have, if you have Wi-Fi, if you have a device, you are able to be on social media, and it's basically free advertisement. But when I go and see different pages, different businesses, and they'll have a page, they'll have an account, but the content isn't giving the same value as what they're wanting to give, or they're not posting consistently, or they're not really reaching out and giving value to their followers, that's where it's like, okay, are you being the friend of social media? Social media is being your friend by giving you a free platform, a free space to advertise yourself. But how are you collaborating? How are you connecting with social media so that you can be put in different places, in different rooms, in different
I
levels?
want to ask a question. What do you say to the people who want 1,000,000, 10,000 followers instead of just that little 30?
Okay. So that what I would say to them is, are you giving million followers or 10K followers value? Are you continuously putting out content that they actually want to see? Are you um creating value in each piece of your content, and not value that you want to give, but value that they're asking for? When it comes to social media and growing a following, it's basically it's kind of similar to you growing a friendship. If you want to be someone's friend, you're not going to just come up to them and just tell them all about yourself. Or it's even, say, not even just friendship, but dating. When you go on a date with someone and you're getting introduced to them, you don't want to hear all of their accolades, at least not all the time, because then you're like, there's no value to you. You're just telling me about yourself, and in a sense, like self-centered in a sense. And we don't want to, as businesses, the whole point is to give a service to someone else. So it really can't be just be about you and your business. It has to be about the person you're serving. And so when it comes to the content that you create, bringing value, it has to be value that people are asking for. And some advice that I would give is go to similar accounts that you want to be like. Go into looking and finding accounts that are doing the things that you're wanting to do. Look into those comments and see what people are asking and commenting, because that's the thing. Those are the things that people are asking for. Those are the things that people are wanting to see.
I get it. I get it. If you're creating value, then people will come to you. But I guess going back to like the 2 years, if like you don't have that value, then you have to work towards that as well. And that might take more than 2 years.
Oh, most definitely. And what people forget is that social media wants content. That's how they're able to be social media platforms. Is if you put it's a two-way relationship. If you put in content, then they're going to push out your content. But they're only going to push out your content if your content brings value, if your content is good. Because if people want to see your content, if people are engaging with it, if social media sees that, okay, this is good content, they're going to push it out to their people. It's like the saying, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And if social media sees that you are putting in great value, then they're going to want to push you out even more.
I don't know, y'all probably thinking, how do I create value then? So it's really just looking what the algorithm is thinking, but the algorithm is really just your audience. Like, what do people want to see? And the only way to find out what they want to see is you post, you ask questions. You like, do you like this? Or if they engage on something, then that's what they want for real. And then lastly is 9 to 5ers with side hustles who want to become a full-time creator. Like we said before, determine which platforms you have time for and want to grow on. You want to do short form content or long form content. And I would say with social media caters to which, but pretty much every social media caters to each one for real. So it just depends on what you want to do and how you want to do it and what your audience. And also with a 9 to 5, I would say it's all about time management and do you want to make time for it? I post it 365 days straight. It was not easy, but it's something I want to do. Not every post went viral, but I went viral more times than I went in 1 year in my 15 years using the app. So that might tell you something, right? It's worth it. And then if you're doing it as a side hustle, if you keep grinding, keep on putting in that work, you have a full-time job, you're a full-time content creator. Those incomes can supplement one another, and you can live a very different life than when you started.
How would you say time management has helped you in your mindset journey?
So time management, I ain't gonna lie, I'm just gonna keep it simple. Time management is what it is. Will you make time for it, and will you not make an excuse for it? It's not a special technique. It's not if I wait, it's just like, hey, I say I'm gonna make a podcast today. Are we gonna do it? I say I'm gonna go work out today. Are you gonna do it? And are you gonna make the time for it? Right? We make time for watching TV, eating ice cream, and going out with our friends, talking on the phone, getting on social media. So, are you gonna create that content? And are you gonna do it? That's all. That's all time management is. I don't know. I just feel like. I don't know. I just want to be real. That's it. This one is, do you want to do it? Or are you going to say you're going to do it? If you are, then do it. Because this one has two swords. You can be disciplined on doing the stuff you're going to say, or disciplined on doing the stuff you're going to say. It's still discipline. You're just not putting it in the right way. You're not doing it for your good. You're doing it for your bad. Man, I drank 5 days straight. Well, you're disciplined in that. Wow, congratulations. Right? I haven't worked out in a year. Oh, wow. You really haven't worked out in a year. You disciplined, just not in what you say you're going to do. So I think that's probably be a better way to teach it instead of like, oh, I'm learning how to be disciplined. No, you already know how to be disciplined. You just know how to be disciplined in the stuff you say you want to be disciplined in.
We hope that you enjoyed this episode of Create to Live podcast, focusing on how to develop a positive mindset to be successful in 2025. This episode, we truly wanted to give value for people give value to you before we go into 2025, because sometimes we go into the new year and we're like, oh, New Year's resolutions. Well, before we even get into the new year, let's go ahead and set boundaries, set mindsets so that we can be prepared for the new year. Start now versus waiting till later. If you want to follow us on social media, my social media is bluewall.media. That's BLUWALL.media on Instagram.
You can follow me at Davon.Booker, BOOKR, whole time. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you again for tuning in to Create to Live podcast.